Welcome to Bougie Popcorn. Today we're going to turn up the bougie and we're going to make duck fat and truffle salt popcorn. Yes, very bougie. This is something that I came up with just walking through the aisles of Whole Foods every time. So when I was looking at some of the different oils that I could use for popping popcorn, I ran into a whole Epic collection, and it's actually called Epic, of different kinds of animal fat. They have duck fat, chicken fat, beef fat, and they also had bison fat. But duck fat actually stood out to me a little bit. I've had duck fat fried French fries before, and it does give it a nice buttery quality that I thought would go really well in popcorn. So I thought, let's give that a try. And while I was walking through the spices aisle, I saw this black truffle sea salt. It is 5% black truffle. And if you've never had black truffle, it's kind of an acquired taste. It's very umami. It tastes and smells a lot like mushroom. So if you don't really like the mushroom flavor, you probably won't really like truffle. So, you just use what you know in terms of what kind of flavors you like and what kind of flavors that you tend to have an aversion to. So my brother and his girlfriend Marion are both foodies. They live in New York City and they have access to all of these fantastic restaurants, and they really are connoisseurs of food. So I'm making this for them. It's their birthday month, both of them. So happy birthday to you guys. I am shipping this out to you right after we're done filming. So some of the things that I thought might go well, going back to the thought of duck fat French fries, Parmesan cheese is something that they normally sprinkle on top of the duck fat French fries. So I've got a little Parmesan cheese here, and we'll sprinkle that on top, and as well garlic. Garlic goes well with everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare the duck fat in two applications. One will be where we cook the popcorn in the whirly pop on the stovetop. We will actually cook it in the duck fat, and then I will have additional duck fat to pour over the top as a dressing. And in doing that, we're going to take a clove of garlic and melt that in with the duck fat. So we're infusing a little bit of garlic flavor into the duck fat. So I'll take this little pan. Like I've said before, we want to make sure we prepare our dressings before we pop them, because you always want to dress your popcorn while it's hot as soon as it comes off of the stove or as soon as it comes out of the air popper. So we'll do that first. So I'm just going to take one clove of garlic, and I'm not going to chop it up or mash it or anything. I'm just going to remove the skin, and I'm going to let that melt or infuse in the duck fat. So we'll put that in this little saucepan. It's kind of a warm day today, so this is a little bit liquefied. I haven't opened it yet, but after you open it, it should be refrigerated, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to take 2 whole tablespoons of this duck fat into this little saucepan. And then because I want a little bit of a buttery flavor, I'm also going to infuse a little butter in there too, just so we're not going too far out of reach. So usually I have half a stick of butter for a half cup of popcorn pop. So I will take half of that, which is now 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons of duck fat and 2 tablespoons of butter, and we'll infuse that together when we go over to the stove. So we'll set that aside, and so you know what's in there when we get to the stove. And when we're ready to pop our popcorn, I'm going to use 5 full tablespoons of this duck fat. Yes, it sounds like a lot. So as you cook popcorn on the stovetop, if you're not baking it, the more oil that you use in cooking it, the crisper your popcorn will get and the crisper it'll stay. And especially because I'm shipping this, I want to make sure that it stays crisp the entire time that it's going through shipping. So I want to make sure that I cook it in enough oil that it's going to crisp up and stay crisp. So the Parmesan cheese and the truffle salt will apply as the popcorn is done in a bowl. So I'll leave that over here. When we pop our popcorn, now I've used all different kinds of popcorns, from small variety kernels to largest variety kernels, which is mushroom popcorn. A lot of the popcorn I've been making lately has been with the mushroom popcorn because it gives you that really big, beautiful, round, spherical popped popcorn shape. However, it is more difficult to cook with. Making a kettle corn with mushroom popcorn is more difficult, and as well, cooking with some of the smaller varieties, you can tend to burn it on the stovetop easier. I think the reason why this type of particular kernel is popular in stores is because it's really the most forgiving and easiest popcorn to use. It also tastes very good, and it's more tender than the mushroom popcorn. And since we won't have a very strong application in terms of a candy coating, and we won't be doing any baking, I don't want a lot of that husk that's inside of the mushroom popcorn to be so forward. So we're gonna use store-bought regular popcorn. And I find that when I start with new recipes, I like to start with this because it's the easiest to pop, easiest to get results with, and it's a good baseline, and it's a great popcorn. Nothing wrong with using regular popcorn. So the cap is half a cup, and we'll just have that half cup ready for when we go over the stove. So I think we have all of our ingredients ready. I've got salt and pepper on deck for when we dress the popcorn, and let's go over and start cooking. So let's start out with melting our butter and infusing that garlic in the duck fat. We'll set that aside and let it steep. So here we are with our popped popcorn, and oh, it smells so good. It's very, very savory smelling, and I can't wait to try it. That's really good. Oh, I love it just as it is. I threw a little bit of salt in there as I was cooking it, so it had oil and salt already. And as expected, this regular popcorn, so easy. It almost flawlessly comes out perfect every time. Oh, I can eat that just as it is, but we're not gonna do that. Let's dress it up a little bit. Take that garlic out. butter and duck fat dressing. That is really good. It definitely needs salt, so we're getting there. We'll make sure we mix up our truffle and sea salt. Add a spoonful of that. And be careful a little bit and not go too heavy on the truffle right away. Very good. Add a little bit more. Make sure to get some of the truffle in. And the nice thing about this is it's very fine. You want to use a fine salt in your popcorn. Getting that umami flavor. Just a little bit more. I'm probably doing about a 1/4 teaspoon at a time. And I think that'll be enough truffle flavor in there. Oh, and putting the truffle on the hot popcorn with the hot oil really wakes it up. Oh, that is really good. I'm gonna put some pepper in here. I feel like pepper will bring out some of that flavor. And our Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle that on. Make sure it's grated. Fine grated is good. That's a good flavor addition right there, the Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna get it all in there. A little bit more pepper. And I think I want something a little green in here. Maybe not necessarily for flavor, but for looks. So I'm gonna run to the spice cabinet and see what might make sense here. Okay, so I found a little thyme, and I actually gave it a little taste. And when you're using dried herbs, you can kind of wake them up a little bit by crushing them in your fingers. So that's what we're doing right here. Oh, the smell is great. I think rosemary would go really well in here too. A kind of evergreen thyme kind of taste, but I really enjoy thyme, and that's, oh, the smell of the thyme really goes well with everything that's going on in this bowl. And I think we're there. I think it's perfect. Oh, I cannot wait for them to try it. I'm gonna package this up and ship it out. So very bougie popcorn today for all you foodies out there. Duck fat and truffle salt with a little thyme and Parmesan. It is so delicious, I almost don't feel like I'm eating popcorn. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.